Hi, it's Kane Hodder, Jason from Friday the 13th. You're watching Slash and Cast. Keep watching, or I'll kill you and your whole family.
What's going on, horror fans? Welcome to another episode of Slash and Cast. My name is Riley, that is Nick, and that is Mike. We haven't seen Mike in I don't even know how long. Have you ever
been a
been
while.
on Slash and Cast?
Yeah, I was on Slash Cast. I was on the first episode with Harrison Smith, and I was on the review of Stranger Things also.
Oh, yeah, he snuck in there.
Yeah, because Nick hadn't seen it.
No, not at that point.
See, look at that. Well, you're back for now, at least for
Yeah.
another 24 hours. Will he be around tomorrow? Probably not, because he hates us.
Rip.
But we just went and saw Get Out. All right, now Get Out's getting a lot of critic love. Okay, sitting at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and about a 7.4 on IMDb, but that's fluctuating quite a bit. Now it was at like 6.3 yesterday. Has made a big jump. Now this is a movie that we knew critics would love because it's very original. We knew that was something that people like regular audiences might not like. One, because it's very controversial. Okay, it's playing with race and I don't know, sexuality. So it's playing with some controversial topics, especially in this generation. And it's also, since it's original, people don't like original for some reason and tend to shy away. But I mean, ultimately, we enjoyed it, right? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Definitely.
What do you legitimately think?
I mean, yeah, it was original. It was something we haven't seen before, and I mean, I really liked it. It was a movie that kept me engaged, mostly through. There were some parts that may have gotten a little boring, but not as bad as some of the other movies I've seen, such as Split, where there was a dip in the middle where it was just really boring.
Yeah. You're usually really picky when it comes to movies. What do you think of it?
I liked it for the most part. I never really got that like bored sensation that you felt, but like there were definitely like slower parts, but I like. Even when they were like slow, I kind of felt like just uneasy, like
Yeah, I agree.
whenever it was slow.
I
So,
agree.
like, I thought it was very well done in that respect, as to like never like dropping pace, as far as or not. I guess not dropping pace, but like just keeping the overall tone and feel of the movie constant throughout the whole time.
Tension is consistent.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a movie based directed on tension. There's no real big jump scares in this movie. Now this is a horror film by definition, but jump scares minimal, especially for this generation.
Yeah.
There was
A couple.
They weren't even jump scares.
They were like I don't know, just play with you.
Yeah,
Jump
yeah.
Yeah, because there was no part in the movie where it was like some huge, massive, loud score that was like very sudden. Usually, when things popped out at you, they just popped out at you. It was just that, it was nothing, no music involved to
Right.
ruin that moment. For the most part, I think Jordan Peele does a good job directing this movie. He knew
And
that,
writing it.
Yeah, the fact that he was able to write and direct this, and we're used to seeing Jordan Peele in a comedy zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, very impressive. Ultimately, I mean,
Yeah.
he went old school horror. Of course, he's taking stuff that's big in this generation, race and that sexual endo that's going on in there. But he was able to use old school tension and he loves long shots.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the opening shot of the film is a long shot, and that's really key to building the proper tension, especially in a film like this. So, Jordan Peele, great start, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, now let's break Get Out down. Okay, so we're heading into spoiler territory here. So, if you don't want to hear spoilers, this is the time to step away. But really, we open up. Okay. You're instantly getting sort of these stereotypical cliches that you would get from like black people in horror films. They do that intentionally. Jordan Peele knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
But you start off with a kidnapping, nonetheless. Now, with that you kind of forget about it pretty quickly, right? I mean, you get the kidnapping, then you jump right into the couple. I mean, that's pretty much how you go right into it. I don't know, what do you guys think about the kidnapping, really?
I mean, for me, like, I mean, it was a good intro to the movie. It was one like nice long shot, I thought, and it like set the tone, I thought, for like the movie. Like it was very like creepy, and this like the car that came up and like the person in the car, I guess, had this weird like music playing, like some like very like like happy sounding music, but it was like unsettlingly happy.
Tiny Tim stuff going on.
Yeah. Some Insidious type of like feel there, you know.
No, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was thinking how that opening scene is going to come back throughout the whole movie. I mean, it does come back.
It technically does. It's not nearly as big as a relief.
I don't know if a lot of people put two and two together.
Yeah.
I think they kind of forgot about it.
I think there's a lot of stuff in this movie that if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss pretty quick.
For sure.
Now, like, this movie technically has two twists. It gives you a twist, and then it turns you around and gives you another twist. Now, I mean, of course, the main plot of the film has to do with a couple. A mixed race couple going to meet the family for the first time, to meet his girlfriend's family for the first time. Of course, they're all what you expect, extremely white, living on a farm, have old relatives. It's basically like everything that could go against a black man in the situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he handles it extremely well, I will say. At first, yeah. Well, until things get really bad.
Yeah.
But even then, he holds off for quite a while. It seems things are off. There's two black workers on at their house who it seemed okay at first, but they're very. It's not what they're saying is weird. He says this in the movie, actually. It's not what they're saying is weird. It's how they're saying it is weird. And I mean, you have Georgina, and I'm zoning out the other guy's name. But yeah, they're just doing your basic like slavery work. They're meant to look like slaves.
Yeah, cooking, cleaning.
Yeah, I mean chopping wood, working on like the
mowing.
farm.
Mowing,
They're
Side
intentionally meant to look like slaves.
Yeah.
Even they dress a little old school as well.
Yeah.
Now like he puts this off for a while, but then we go into. He starts noticing things, but the thing is, you're expecting his girlfriend to be, I don't know, innocent to a degree, but suddenly things like flip flop real quick when you see that they're selling him. All right, you get the big, like it's all silent, but they're going through an auction process, and it's a big picture of him, and it really doesn't click what's going on, but they're asking him weird questions, including stuff like. Even like about their sex life. Is it better with a black man? It's like, okay. Or are you good at golf? Because Tiger Woods is good at golf.
Yeah, right. How strong are you? Feeling the muscles, and then asking about the sex.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
All that seemed odd. Why does sex have anything to do with? Because it seemed what it seems like the entire movie is that they are. They're tricking black people into getting to the house, hypnotizing them, and making them become slaves. That's straight up what it looks like the entire film. That's what they're trying to drive you to, and it seems like they're trying to drive that to a predictable twist.
Yeah.
So they're messing with your head right away.
They put that out there in the trailers. Like that's what you take away from the trailers too.
Right. So I mean, we get our main character ends up getting hypnotized to a degree and going into this sunken state, which is referred to several times in the movie.
Yep.
We don't find out until the end. What's the point? It seemed when that sex question came up, I was instantly curious because it was like, what does it matter about what his sex life?
There were a lot of hidden racist or like stereotypical themes, talks and stuff between really throughout the first 45 minutes of the film. There was a lot of it.
There's some really deep stuff too.
Yeah.
They hit a deer on their way to the house, okay? And our main character, the black guy, has a deep moment with this deer, okay? Looking into him, and it's pushing and pulling from both of them. And there's obviously a connection between him and the deer. And then you get to the house, okay? and you like Chris, who is the main black guy, is talking with his girlfriend's father. And he's like, yeah, just one more deer off the road. I think this country would be better with, less deer the better. And it's clearly taking shots at black people. Like, that's what it was supposed to be. A lot of people in our theater missed that. I was like, holy crap, like, Jesus Christ.
You're pushing it right there, really.
Yeah. I mean, of course, if you realize it's a black director, okay.
Right.
It's a movie, too.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
I mean, movies can send really strong messages, but, yeah, I'm hoping that it doesn't end up getting criticized because of what it's telling, because it tells a really great story and an important story nonetheless.
Definitely.
Now we go into this other twist, okay? Now, Chris is clearly hypnotized at this point. It seems like they're going to make him into a slave, but then it turns out that they're actually tricking black people to getting onto their plantation, which is what it seems like.
Yeah.
And it's to really just be so older people can buy them and take over their bodies. Okay, so it's actually, I don't know if you've ever seen Skeleton Key. It's extremely similar to that. Older people, using other people's bodies to live forever. So that's exactly what was going on with, like, Georgina through the entire film, is that she was taken over by the grandma, the other guy was taken over by the grandpa. Now, here's where all the questions start coming in. The process and which they switch bodies is literally flipping brains. So they take the brain out of the old person and put it into the black person's head. But what's interesting is that some of the black person the original person stays with their bodies,
and they're watching it. Like, he had an not really out of body experience, but he could
sunken in body experience almost.
Yeah,
like,
really. And he could see what was going on out of his eyes, but he couldn't. He was paralyzed. He couldn't do anything, and that's basically what it was. They could watch what was happening, but they couldn't do anything about it. So they were still in there, even though they cut their old brain out.
Yeah. So that's where it doesn't really start. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
And now another big question we were discussing right before this is, like, if Georgina and the other guy that was working there, if they were indeed the grandma and grandpa the entire time, why were they acting so weird?
Yeah.
Why were they doing, so much work on, like, in the house and whatnot? Like, why is that necessary?
Why weren't they acting as, like, part of the family? Because they were the grandpa and grandma.
Yeah, maybe it was just to complete the facade of getting him there. And I know even the father says, I know this looks wrong or looks bad. They were doing work and stuff. I guess it was just to complete the illusion.
Yeah, and then another question that we were thinking was, like, why hypnosis? I mean, these are, because this is always supposed to be a story about race and whatnot. It's supposed to talk about the importance of, like, that, okay? Right. But I mean, the question really is, like, why do they have to be athletic black people? Because the point, there's literally a point in the movie where Chris's girlfriend, because we discover that she is indeed guilty. She is luring black people in, okay? Including Georgina. She even, like, had a lesbian romance in order to...
That's what we think.
That's absolutely what happened.
Or a really good friend.
But, like, she's luring these people in to get, so people could take over their bodies. And, we figure out that, like, even she's looking up top NCAA prospects and, and literally just looking for athletic college black guys. Now, their females are extremely limited. Georgina's, like, the one female that we see being taken over, and that's because of the grandma. So, like, why does it have to be black guys? Like, I don't know. I don't really
Maybe that was another stereotype they were tackling, because they're athletic.
Yeah, they did talk about that, like, a lot throughout, like, the movie, about how they, like, just were, like, had a stronger build, like.
Yeah, and then but then the father towards the end, they were. Then the father at the end was like, "Why black people? I don't even know."
That's true.
Yeah, they literally it ends up that the family is really not racist at all. In fact, they really kind of respect black people a lot because they want to take over their bodies. I don't know. It's really an odd concept. Now, another, like, there's a whole different, like, side story going on in this entire movie that has to do with Chris's best friend,
Right.
Who is the TSA. You know, he works with the TSA. Is a total dork the entire movie. Is meant
Yeah.
to be funny.
Yeah.
He's there for comedic relief. But he ends up figuring out, like, he figures out that there's clearly something going on and that Chris is missing, and jumps in. And when we see him once again at the end as the TSA hero, and you know, the decision, because it came down to Chris and his girlfriend. He does some miracle, because the point is that a soup cup, okay, if it's being like
It was a teacup.
a teacup is being
Yeah.
like is being stirred, the sound of that is what puts him into hypnosis state, makes him pass out. He ends up pulling cotton from his chair that he's being tied down in, putting that in his ear so he can no longer hear that sound, no longer be hypnotized, is then able to escape, literally kill the whole family except for his girlfriend, and then it comes down to those two. So he's starts training with his girlfriend. TSA guy shows up, and he leaves with her alive. Why do you think he left her alive? First of all,
My theory, you know it. He was choking her, like really choking her, and she was looking into his eyes and starting to smile, and eventually he just stops choking her and starts to tear up. I think he actually like loved her so much that he could not kill her. That's my theory. Like, there's no way he saw the the lights coming down the road. There's no way. She didn't even see it either. They were looking right at each other.
It's true.
That's what my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you think she loved him back?
No. I thought so for a little bit, but yeah, towards the end when everything was going down, no, she didn't. She almost seemed like she was hypnotized the whole time, that she didn't have feelings. She acted like a robot.
There was a long time
Yeah.
where we're like, is she hypnotized? What is going on here?
Yeah,
But ultimately, no, she's just a psycho bitch.
true.
Yeah. I don't think I don't know if it was out of love, maybe out of conscience, I guess.
I don't know though, because he kills the brother.
He killed 3 of the people
Yeah,
already.
so
But he didn't.
what's one more?
But he didn't have a 5-month relationship with them. He had a 2-day relationship with them.
But she's also not that she's the only female, but she's the youngest female, innocent looking. I'd have killed the brother too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the dad was about to go anyway. No, I don't know. I guess maybe he loved her.
Maybe.
I'm sticking to that.
Do you have a theory?
I was gonna say that. I mean, maybe he wanted like her to bleed out, basically, just to like be more torturous, maybe than
I guess.
choking.
Yeah.
And she already went through the choking part, So like almost dying twice. This is pretty bad, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he's just trying to torture her, He hates her that much now. It's nothing to do with love.
Nothing to do with love.
I don't believe it.
Man, I mean, really, the whole movie is interesting. It's a
good movie.
There's a lot to take in the entire movie, and it's hard to even have a spoiler discussion with it because like there's so many twists and turns around. It's hard to really explain it. But the one thing that I'm still stuck on is, okay, he's still hypnotized. Well, he's still in this hypnosis state. If he hears the chime of a cup again, he is gonna pass out, and he's gonna go into this sunken state.
Right.
How do you get out of that? Is that ever going to be explained? Is there a Get Out 2 coming?
I don't
Get
see.
Out 2 is how you get out of the sunken state.
I don't see how a Get Out 2 could happen unless he falls for the same trick again. Like, I mean, unless she comes back for revenge. But no, they can't do a Get Out 2. Really, I don't see any way they can.
I hope not.
No.
God, I hope they don't do a sequel. It's a movie that is so good by itself and should stay that way. For God's sake, don't you see franchises aren't working? I'm sorry. I want to see these franchise returns, but so many of them are dying out because they're not being applied in the right way. This movie should stay by itself.
For sure.
And it doesn't need to be ruined with a sequel.
Right.
Because I really don't see you don't think you could do it any other way. But yeah, he still isn't. He could be hypnotized ultimately. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our ratings. Nick, out of 5 hypnotizing teacups, what are you thinking?
I'm going to give Get Out 4.5 out of 5. For the sole purpose of I kind of saw the twist coming.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Mike?
It was still a great movie. Great.
It was a good movie. I'm gonna go with 4. 4 hypnotizing teacups.
Nice. Yeah. I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah.
4 hypnotizing teacups out of 5. Yeah, it's not a perfect movie, but it is extremely original. Best horror film of the year so far. It's February, but it is the best horror film. I do think it's better than Split.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's way better written than Split.
Yes.
I think Split is a mess overall. Get Out. It was a pleasure.
It was good.
It really was.
It was a pleasant surprise. Like,
This is like the first movie I haven't fallen asleep in the movie theaters in like a year.
It was definitely one that we didn't know a lot about. It was not on our top 10 anticipated. We didn't know a lot about it. We were just like, hey, this movie's got a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, there really it clicked our interest once we went to see Split, and it was a trailer before Split for Get Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get Out, not bad. All right, man, that's going to be it from us. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. And, of course, make sure you go check out our other YouTube channel, youtube.com/RJL Productions Extras. There you will find the home of the MWM Project, which is currently on hiatus, but might see a return soon. Right, Nick?
Yeah.
Of course. Make sure you go check out our Facebook at facebook.com/RJL Productions and our Twitter at twitter.com/RJL_Productions. And, of course, if you really want to stay up to date, head over to rjproductions.net. There you can join our email notification list. Just simply put in your email, click on Notify Me, and then you'll get an email from me saying, hey, go check out this video, like it, favorite it, comment on it. That'd be great. Oh, and by the way, Crippling Commentaries had a new episode just come out a few days ago. It was for Freddy vs. Jason. Crippling Commentaries is as simple as it sounds. We commentate over movies. That's also available on iTunes and Podbean. Links in the description. Make sure you go check it out. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.